Dave from the Redneck Garage. Well, it's a beautiful day in Nashville here today. It's probably about 68 degrees right now. Starting to warm up. This morning I've been out working on the TJ project. Yesterday Randy and I took pretty much a day off of doing any work and went down to the NRA convention, and let me tell you, those people were crazed. They were going crazy, and those gun nuts, man, I don't know. Here's a little clip of the mayhem that was at the NRA convention yesterday. You can see all the crazy gun people, how crazed and frothing at the mouth they are trying to get on the bus. Oh wait, looks pretty calm. Looks like this kind of group you'd want to have at your event. Stalker. So that was awesome. Yeah, it was massive. It was so massive. It was here in Nashville. I was talking to him, and I was just like, man, can you imagine though? Some of these people are like talking to their kids, going, you know, and they live somewhere like in Iowa or Nevada or something, going, hey kids, instead of Disneyland, we're gonna go to the NRA convention this year in Nashville. And it's like, golly, how boring would that be? But we did see a lot of cool things, and there's a lot of neat stuff to look at. It was huge. Bought some coffee mugs and some t-shirts, so that was pretty cool. Back today working on the TJ, and we're going to be working on the rear end again. We're back on the rear end portion of it. I finished prepping and cleaning up and getting ready the gas tank crossmember support. If you remember, we've already sprayed on some rust encapsulator, rust converter basically, and this morning it was nice and black like it had dried out and cured, and then I painted it with a new Eastwood product, and let's take a look at that. Okay, so after I wire brushed it and cleaned everything off, I was feeling up in here, and there's still quite a bit of silt and stuff down in there, so I gotta keep rinsing it out a little bit more to get all that crap out of there. And you can kind of see it coming out, that there's still some sediment in there. So once we get all that out and it dries up, then we can go ahead and treat it. Okay, where I treated this inner back frame support, right, it turned out great. I put the rust encapsulator on it, and it turned black everywhere. I did realize that it had undercoating on it at some point, you could tell. And it's like a dark kind of satin black. All the rust has been converted. So that looks super cool. The product we're going to use today is an Eastwood product also. It's a rubberized rust encapsulator, which is kind of like, think of it like an undercutting with the same type properties as the other stuff we use that converts the rust, except for it dries into a paint, and it also is a little bit of deadening sound. So once we get the other part done, then we're spraying this on top of it, and that should protect that rear gas tank support as well as we can protect it anyway, as far as like from rust and everything. Alright, so today I'm going to be working on this rear section here, and I've got my safety cap repair kit, and it's going to slide right over the back of it, and you can see where it welds in the rear. We're going to be working on getting this one installed, cutting out what's left of that rear piece right there, the rusted out piece, and then welding this back in. So that's going to be super cool, and then we can go ahead and start moving forwards and treating and painting all this other stuff. Okay, you can see I've left this portion right here, and then this portion makes it go all this is gone. This section, I'm going to have to clean it off so I can weld this new piece on, but we're going to have to continue just cutting up there, cutting this portion up just a little bit. It's not really that badly rusted on this section. Just in the very back section was it just gone. So, not too bad. Alright, so I've got my first welding piece put in, right? I've got it welded with, I've got it primered with some weld-through primer. And cut the bottom up to about here on this piece. This part's what wasn't too bad going up. About here it wasn't bad at all, but it's where that water settled in here is where it rusted out that back section. Kind of same over here is where that water settles. That's where it does that. But I'm going to get this up in there and then tack it in and see what happens. Awesome. Okay, you can see that I've got this part cut out, right? That's the part that was rusty. And it wasn't really too bad in all the spots. This is near the end of it, near where it curved. The metal's still pretty substantial, except for where this hole was. You can see that there was a hole right through it. Trippy. We've got our Eastwood self-etching weld through primer gray, so we can weld, and still has some primer on there on the new frame piece and the old one. And I'm going to go ahead and test fit that in there and see how it fits. Alright, so I'm pretty happy with that. I've got a little more welding to do on it, but that's what it looks like finished in place. And she's substantial, man. It ain't moving nowhere. That looks great. Especially opposed to, like, you know, that. Okay, so I was really super happy with the way that the safety cap rail repair kit, whatever you want to call it, came out on the rear section. It looks really good, and once it's painted, you'll never probably even notice it. Now I've got to do a little bit more welding on it, and then we're going to paint it and do an internal frame coatings, but that's super cool. I was tickled with that. Next thing we're going to do is the shackle. We've got a couple pieces on the rear for the shock absorbers that we haven't talked about from Rough Country that Mitch hooked me up with. That's super cool coming up. So we're just going to keep working on that. I'm David from Redneck Garage. Keep turning wrenches.